Thanks to a sort of director's commentary section of the Japanese Blu Ray Collection for Digimon Adventure 2020, we have learned about a handful of lost episodes, basically an entire cut mini arc that includes huge cameos to other seasons, adds depth to certain enemies, and fixes one of the reboot's weirdest mega debuts with BlitzGreymon, who just kind of appeared with no rhyme or reason in an Izzy episode. So we'll break down all of that in just a second. Welcome to the Digiknow, where we unpack episodes with weekly reviews and occasionally dig into the news and behind the scenes topics like we're doing today. In the Japanese Blu-ray package for the 4th volume of Digimon Adventure 2020, there's a little director's corner style section where they give us kind of an unprecedented look behind the curtain of what they originally had planned for the season. Some scenarios we never got to see that honestly make so much sense and would have solved or at least alleviated a lot of the issues some fans had with elements of this show. Of course, we don't get information on why these things changed. The reality is, in production, a million things change. You need to be flexible, and a story outline can pivot when you're actually in motion. So I'm going to start with one that is extremely cool but seems to be a little detached from the rest of the events we learned about. The other stuff is surprisingly tied together in a very cool way, but before we get to that, we were apparently supposed to get a Greymon versus Blue Flare Greymon, which is the Greymon variant from Digimon Fusion / Xros Wars. Unfortunately, there really isn't that much information in this section. It's just said that this fight was supposed to happen and Petalldramon versus Gigasmon was supposed to happen. But yeah, the Blue Flare Greymon would have been extremely cool, kind of having two eras of Greymon clashing, 1999 versus 2010. The funny thing is, now that we don't have this, we can probably all agree it would have been really cool to see, and it's sad that it got cut. But honestly, if we did get the fight, I can already hear the people in my comments saying that it's just another example of the Taichi show and too much Taichi and Agumon line bias or whatever. But let's move on to the next part of this director diary, which is extremely cool. Metal Mamamon was supposed to have a role in this series and also lead the way towards Mugendramon. You know how we kind of had an explanation of the second Mugendramon? 2 episodes prior, Sephirothmon gathered combat data of our heroes, which we sort of assumed led to Mugendramon, or did it lead to Chimeramon pre-Millenniummon? It wasn't that clear, but this cut storyline would have apparently made things a little clearer by having Mugendramon built from some of the more robotic, cybernetic Digimon we met along the journey. Metal Mamamon was potentially going to be something like a multi-episode villain working with the Vademon. Now, when I read this, a light switch turned on in my head. It made perfect sense that something changed with the Vademon because they were extremely weird and underwritten in this show. They were just the aliens from Toy Story, but instead of worshipping the claw, it was Millenniummon. And the other thing is that for a large stretch of the show, we lacked an overarching threat, like an Edamon kind of hunting in the original series. It would have been cool to have Metal Mamamon popping in and out of episodes, like a bounty hunter chasing them, but always just missing them or something like that. But okay, so are you ready? Get this. Remember how I said Mugendramon would be built from some of the robotic cyborg Digimon we met along the journey? Specifically, that would have been in a battle with Metal Greymon, where Metal Mamamon would fuse with Andromon, Metal Tyrannomon, Mugendramon, and possibly another Metal Greymon. I'm having trouble with this part of the translation. It could just be saying the cyborg amalgamation would face off against Metal Greymon, which is definitely what happened, but it could also mean a Metal Greymon was involved in that amalgamation, and maybe it was the Blue Flare Greymon turned into Blue Flare Metal Greymon. But yeah, Metal Greymon would then be standing there staring down Mugendramon, a Digimon that he briefly resembled when Metal Greymon dark digivolved into that burning red form in episode 24. Metal Greymon would then evolve to Mega, but this time, instead of turning into War Greymon or the burning red Mugendramon from episode 24, he would digivolve into BlitzGreymon, and this would presumably have been the original premiere of BlitzGreymon. This makes so much more sense because even when it happened in episode 36, even those who were stoked to see BlitzGreymon, we all kind of agreed it felt super random, super out of place, and kind of anticlimactic. This, on the other hand, would have been monumental. It would be this cyborg type Digimon battle, BlitzGreymon versus Mugendramon. And I like this a lot because we'd have Taichi and BlitzGreymon fully in control and kind of overcoming one of their darkest moments when Agumon lost control in episode 24. They'd be staring down the face of that ugly monster that Agumon once let himself turn into, like looking into a mirror, not liking what you see and overcoming it. So yeah, that is what I was able to pull from this super interesting bit of director's commentary from the Japanese Blu-ray. Like I said at the top of the video, it's quite rare for any company to share scrapped ideas because there's always the possibility they will reuse those ideas later, and it's even more rare for a Japanese animation company to share secrets like this because they're usually exactly that, top secret. Let me know in the comments what you think about this little story arc that seemingly would have tied the journey to Faga together a bit better through Metal Mamamon, and it would have also better explained where Mugendramon came from, and would have given BlitzGreymon this very epic Cyber Dragon versus Cyber Dragon debut. For more videos like this, definitely consider subscribing. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to reading the comments. I'll see you on Sunday with another video. Digimon Ghost Game episode 3 is actually on break this week, so no episode review this Sunday, but I will have my top 10 episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020 Reboot ready for you, so look forward to that. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.